Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today I'm coming to you with another EDC gear review. And today's review is going to be on the Olight Odin GL. I'm assuming this is a tactical flashlight. It's pretty big, and before you ask, yes, this was sent to the channel for review from Olight. However, this is not in collaboration with any type of discount code or Olight store event. This was actually sent to me back when I reviewed the Balder Pro weapons mounted light, and this was supposed to be the special for that month. And they ended up changing it. They sent me the Balder Pro, and this has been sitting on my workbench to unbox and do a review of ever since then. I've never gotten any other guidance about it, so I thought I would unbox it here on camera and just do the review anyway. I gotta say that I've been carrying flashlights a whole bunch now as part of my EDC loadout, and I've found them to be pretty useful. It's an aspect of my EDC gear I've kind of ignored for a very long time, and I took them for granted. So I'm excited to see what the Odin GL has in store for me. I've never used any of the Olight larger flashlights or the tactical flashlights, so let me adjust the camera. We're going to unbox this. I have no idea, besides the flashlight, if there's anything else in this. I do want to say I did get a finger ring to go with it as well. So let's unbox this, let's put it together, see what we get, and I'll compare it to a few other flashlights that I own. Alright, so here's the box this Odin GL comes in. Here on the back, it says it's between 1500 lumens and 300 lumens, and it looks like some of the features of this, it does come with an M-LOK insert for quick lock buttons and easy secure installation. So maybe it actually has hardware to mount to a rifle, and I'll probably check that out and go inside and get a rifle and mount it on one of those as well. It says here it has a green beam off, green beam on. The Odin GL is a brand new weapons mounted light designed for long barrels, which combines a high lumen white light and an intense green beam for maximum accuracy. Alright, so it looks like we get a lot of options here, and this is maybe a weapons mounted light. I was assuming it was a tactical flashlight because they sent this, which was the finger ring, but I would rather use this as a weapons mounted light. Alright, as you guys can see, when it comes to reviewing these products, when I unbox them, these are true unboxings. I have no hands-on experience with any of these, so I always give you guys my first impression. Alright, so let's open this thing up here. Let's see how this box comes apart. Alright, here we go. Thank you for being part of our Olight family. Your support is why we do this. Enjoy, the Olight team. Alright, we got this yellow insert here. Looks like it has some mounting instructions. I'll put that aside. I'll probably need that in a minute. Alright, so here is the light itself. Let's see if I can get this thing out. Oh, it's a foam insert here. Alright, okay, so it has some type of mounting hardware on this side. I guess that corresponds to the finger loop if you choose to use it. Before use, please remove the protective film cover on this lens. Well, we'll do that right now. All right, so far, this looks pretty sturdy. It's what I would expect from Olight. Whether you love or hate them, they actually do make pretty good looking flashlights. Which, by the way, I know some people are going to already dislike the video simply because it is an Olight and maybe you don't like their marketing. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to borrow something that Mr. Guns and Gear does, and that is I'm going to post a link in the description below if you need mental help. Because if me just reviewing a flashlight bothers you that much, that you just go absolutely crazy, maybe you might need to get a little bit of help, and I'll post a link that he also links to in his descriptions to go and get mental help. Because if you get upset about me just reviewing a flashlight, you definitely need some help. Alright, so over here, looks like we have a few settings. I guess this looks like an octopus, but obviously that is for the light. And then there's one with a green beam, and then I guess just the beam itself. So maybe that's a laser? Oh yeah, look at that. Looking here in the bezel, there's definitely a laser inside that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so this I guess could be used as a tactical flashlight, but obviously it is designed as a rail-mounted light. That's pretty cool. Okay, set that aside. Let's open up the rest of this, see what we get. All right, we get, oh, look at this. We get a touchpad, low and high. Obviously that is designed to go on the rifle, all right. And the cap for the bottom of the light. Okay, you get a lot more than what I thought. I thought this was just gonna be a flashlight. I guess you get some zip ties for the cable. That's a nice little addition. Let's see what else we get here. All right, we get some cables here. Oh, that's one of their magnetic chargers. So that should go here in the back, and it does. I'll plug this in before I test it, just to make sure the batteries are charged up. And this is something hard, so it must be the mounting system. Okay, so this one is my M-LOK mount. That's pretty cool. What else we got here? Oh, we got a bunch of tools, some Allen wrenches, some more parts. Better put that aside here. Keep all those together. Anything else in this box? Nope. And we get, it looks like, is the instruction manual. All right. All right, so before I install this on a rifle and put all this together, let's just kind of get my initial impressions. The build quality of this seems to be pretty good. You got a selector switch between the light, the laser and light, and the laser. The detent that holds that in place is pretty good. I see that we have some adjustments here, I'm assuming for the laser itself. The finish of this is really nice. I like the anodization. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. So we're going to put the switch on light. There should be enough juice in this. I haven't charged it, but let's see. There's a little push button here in the back. All right, it actually vibrates when I push that button, so I guess it lets you know that it's on. All right, that must be the 300 lumen setting. Maybe. It says 1500 lumens, so I'll have to look in the owner's manual to see how to increase that. And then let's put on the laser. All right, let's see if that works. Oh yeah, look at that. Green laser as well. And then I guess if I turn it to there, you have the laser and the light. Well, that is really, really cool. Okay, so far I really like this a lot. And that vibration is kind of interesting in that it gives you a tactile response when you turn it on and off. All right, well, I guess I should probably try to mount this to a rifle, see if these mounts are actually quality, will fit onto an M-LOK rail like they say they will, and just see in generally how it mounts and how it looks on a rifle. All right, so I've had some time to mess around with this thing. I had to go out and buy a piece of Picatinny rail to mount the switch, but I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed with this. When I unboxed this today, I honestly thought I was doing a review of a tactical flashlight. And this thing is both a tactical flashlight and a weapons mounted light, and it is feature packed. I am blown away with this. So since I've mounted it, had some time to kind of mess around with it, there's a few things I can definitely tell I don't like and some things I really like about this light. So let me talk about the negative things first. When it comes to the switch, I really like the fact that they supply you this switch retainer, which goes on the piece of Picatinny rail. See if I can get this in focus right there. This thing is really nice, but if everything else on your gun is M-LOK, like the mount over here for the light itself, this should actually be M-LOK as well. As I said, I had to go out and buy a piece of Picatinny rail for this. And when I put it over the Picatinny rail, it wobbles a little bit. It's definitely secure. It's not going to go anywhere. It was actually really hard to get on, but it shakes a little bit. It's not as sturdy as I would like. I'm not worried about it falling off or breaking. That's just because it's on a piece of rail and not an M-LOK attachment. So that should be M-LOK as well. I like that. The cord is actually really nice and thick. The other weak point, which I kind of think they tried to resolve, is the cap. When you put on the switch, this whole thing is magnetic. As you can see, it comes off. So this allows you to get the light off if you want to use it as a tactical flashlight, or quickly mount it back to your gun. I thought that this would be really easy just to simply fall off. So this might not be good if it's a go-to-war type of gun. It does have a little bit of a lock though. If you take the back of the cap and you push it forward or up, it actually locks into place. You can still get it off pretty easy, but when it's in the locked position, it does hold that magnetic cap on there a little bit tighter. So they did try to address that. The other downside to this light is that it takes up a lot of real estate. It's kind of a long light, as you can see here. It's a big light. Now, that probably means the battery in there is going to be pretty robust and give you lots of time and power. But the downside is you spend a lot of rail space mounting it. All right, so now let's talk about the things I really like. The mount for the light is extremely well designed and well built. It attached to this Chi-Tac CT15 really well. I like the fact that it has a lock on it. So this is really easy to get off the rifle. So right now it's in a weapons mounted light configuration. I can simply remove the cap, I unlock it from the mount, I can push it in, and I should be able to simply remove the light, and now I can use it as a standard flashlight. That's really, really cool. This light, because it has a lock on the mount, I think is going to stay on the rifle and be really, really tight. So this is well thought out. All right, there we go. All right, so now it's locked back in there and it's not going to go anywhere. And then you simply take the rear mount, lock it in, and put it on. And now you can use it like a weapons mounted light. That is pretty darn amazing. And the fact that this thing has the magnetic charger, which I've already been charging it over here, it works well. I'm really, really impressed with this thing. It is feature packed. It's a laser, it's a light, it can do both. Something else that I have to kind of get used to is when I do depress the switch, it does vibrate, as I mentioned. So it kind of gives you a tactile feel to let you know that the light is on or off. It's not loud at all, but you feel it. It's kind of weird. No other light I've ever had does that. But it's really well built. It's robust. The mounts are nice and strong. The wires that connect the switch to the light, nice and thick. Man, this thing gives you a ton of versatility. All right, well, as you can see, this thing has already exceeded my expectations, and this is not what I was expecting. I thought this was going to be just another boring flashlight review, but this is pretty freaking awesome. All right, well, I'm going to adjust the lights here. I'm going to see how this thing performs here in the garage, and I will compare it to a couple of other flashlights that I have. All right, so I have the camera pointed towards my little alcove, the place where I always test the lights out and show you guys. I'm going to compare the Odin GL to 3 other flashlights, and these are all flashlights, tactical flashlights that I have reviewed here on the channel. The first one will be the Phoenix TK16. This is kind of a popular flashlight. I think you guys have probably seen this on other channels. There's that one. Then I have the Nitecore P20i. This is actually one of my favorite flashlights. I use this one all the time. I really like the switches on this one. Good performance. I like how it's built. Then I have the ThruNite BSS V4. I like this one because of the color. Great little tactical flashlight right here as well. And then of course I'm going to compare them all with, gotta find it here, the Olight Odin GL weapons mounted light / tactical flashlight. So that's what I will be comparing them to. So let me turn off the light and let's see what these beams look like compared to each other. All right, so I got the lights off here in the garage. The first light I'm going to show you is the beam of the Phoenix TK16. And I'm going to test all these lights on the brightest settings. Now, this light by far is the brightest light that I probably have. And my complaint with this was the heat. It has a medium-sized hotspot with a good amount of spill. Definitely lights up the garage pretty well. All right, so now I'm going to move to the Nitecore light. Let me put that down, and here's the Nitecore light. Now this one has a much whiter light than the other ones, but I don't think it's quite as bright as the Phoenix. A little bit more centered hotspot, lots of spill. That's a great tactical flashlight. I mean, for me, I think this is the one that I carry the most, and probably the one that I think would be most effective in kind of a house clearing situation. I just like the color of that beam a lot. Then next up, we're going to go with the Through Night. Now, I really like this company a lot. All right, so here we go. Now, the problem with this beam, if you can see on the outside, I'm going to kind of twist the light around. Because it has this kind of tactical bezel that allows you to use the light as a melee weapon if you want, you kind of get those weird shadows around the spill, and you don't really get a lot of light going in all directions. But you get a very centered kind of area, but it's not necessarily a hot spot. So this doesn't have a very defined hot spot. It is very bright, and you get those kind of weird shadows. I think I'm showing that there. That's the only downside to this light. And this one doesn't get too hot. I'm pretty happy with that as compared to the Phoenix. And then finally, we're going to move to the Olight Odin GL. And here it is. So this light is only 1500 lumens, where some of the other lights definitely get a little bit brighter. So this isn't the brightest of all the flashlights, but it doesn't get as hot. I did notice that. Now I gotta say, it's a very centered hotspot, about medium size. Spill is pretty good. And you get a little bit of a kind of a halo effect on the very outskirts of it. So if you can see the outside of the beam, you're gonna see like a little shadow. So you got the hot spot there in the center, you got kind of the main illuminated area, then there's a shadow, and then beyond the shadow you get more light. So I don't know what's really causing that. It could be just something with the emitter or the design of the reflector, not really sure. But I think for a weapons mounted light, this is going to give you way more than what you would need. I like that, but it's definitely not as bright. As for temperature, it's not getting hot at all. So a lot of people complain with the Olights that they do get a little bit hot. They're concerned about the batteries blowing up. I understand, because I don't want a lithium battery getting that hot. But this thing doesn't seem to get too hot. So I'm happy with that. Not 100% happy with the way that the light is when it comes to its brightness as compared to the other lights. But as I said, it is not bad. I would say that the quality of this light is probably a 4 out of 5, where I think the Nightcore would be a 5 out of 5 when it comes to both quality, color, and intensity. All right, so let me readjust the camera, mount this back on the rifle. I'll give you guys my final thoughts. All right, guys, so what are my final thoughts on the Olight Odin GL? Well, I have to say, out of all the flashlight reviews I have ever done, this one has exceeded my expectations, and I honestly was not expecting it. When I came out here this evening to do this review, I thought it would be just like all of the other ones, and I would just give an honest comparison. Overall, I like the Olight lights. They seem to function well, they seem to be well built. I know a lot of people criticize them for their marketing strategies and the fact that they are made in China. But I think if you can get over those two things, I think you get a pretty darn amazing light on this. I can't think of any other light on the market that gives you all these options. The ability to quickly go between a weapons mounted light and a tactical flashlight, how the switch can easily be removed, how well it mounts, how easy it is to get off the mount and to lock it into place. You get a light, a laser, and a combo. I don't know what else to say. This is a really awesome product. I really think they hit a grand slam on this thing. As I said, I do have a few complaints, things that I wish could be a little bit better, like the switch light. I wish that was a little bit more sturdy. I kind of wish that the back cap maybe wasn't necessarily magnetic, but it does have a lock on it, and it does take up a lot of real estate on your gun. So it's a little bit on the big side. But those are my only 3 complaints. So maybe I'll deduct a little bit of points for that. But the performance of the light, I think, is pretty good. 1500 lumens is definitely more than what you're probably going to need. I love the performance of it. The color of the light's pretty good. And what I'm more impressed with than anything else is all of the options. and what you can do with this light. So this review definitely exceeded my expectations. Let me give you another close-up of this light as it is mounted on this AR right there. I think it looks really good. And here is the pressure switch on this side. If I can get that in the focus, hopefully, there it is. So they give you everything in the box. Now other companies, I know you gotta buy the pressure switch separately, you gotta buy all the mounts separately. This is just a one and done deal. So I'm gonna say that when it comes to my star rating, I'm gonna give this 4.75 stars out of 5. The only reason I'm deducting that little bit is mainly because of the pressure pad. That should be M-LOK, I think. That's the main issue. So if you can look past the fact that they advertise kind of weird and it's made in China, I think you get an extremely quality weapons mounted light / tactical flashlight. It exceeded my expectations and I had no idea what I was getting in the box when I unboxed it. So all I can really say is wow, and I'm impressed with this. And for the price point, you sure get a lot. You know, Olight has those sales from time to time where like everything is 20% off or whatever in their store. Maybe just kind of wait for one of those. Now, as I said, this was sent to me for free by Olight, but it's not part of any promotion. It was originally going to be part of a promotion that just never happened. And so I've just had it lying around here at the house for a while, and I decided to make a video about it, and I am sure glad that I did. So once again, my product review and EDC review of the Olight Odin GL. There you go. That is pretty darn awesome, and I'm really happy with it. And I would probably buy one. So there you go. That's, I guess, my endorsement of it. I'm really happy with it. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's better than Streamlight or better than Surefire, but it's a darn good competitor, especially because it has so many options. So what do you guys think? Do you guys own one of these Odin GL lights? Do you like it? I really like this one a lot. So there you go. So let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.